Hi everyone, I'm Daniela, and today we're making a traditional Italian osso buco. It takes a bit of time, but it's fairly easy to make. So let's get started.
You'll find a list of ingredients and measurements in the description below.
This cut of meat is beef shank. It's taken from the leg of the cow, and it's cut horizontally all the way up so that the marrow is exposed. That's what makes this osso buco. Traditionally, this is made with veal shank, but I prefer to use beef instead. We're going to make a soffritto by finely chopping carrots, onion, and celery. I'm using 2 carrots, 2 celery, and 1 medium onion. Smash and peel 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. There's no need to chop because they'll melt into the osso buco sauce. I like to use a wide pot like this one. This is a cast iron braiser. The wider surface area gives you more space to brown your meat evenly, and the cast iron gives a consistent heat.
If you haven't got a heavy bottom pot, you can fry off your meat and your vegetables in a regular frying pan. You'll still want to deglaze the pan with the wine and let it cook down, but then transfer everything to an oven-safe dish and cook it from there. Preheat your oven to 160 degrees Celsius or 325 degrees Fahrenheit.
While your pan is still cold, add 113 grams, 4 ounces of finely diced pancetta, then turn your heat to medium and start to render out the fat. The fat from the pancetta adds a beautiful flavor to the final dish, and we're going to use it to fry our beef shanks. While the pancetta is rendering, we're going to season our beef shanks. Liberally season with salt and pepper on both sides. You'll want at least 1 beef shank per person. Now dust each shank with just a little bit of flour. This is not only going to give a nice crispiness to the outside of the osso buco, it's going to help to thicken the sauce. Again, making sure to do both sides. You'll know your pancetta has rendered out all of its fat when you see no more white bits. It will start to become nice and crispy, and most of the fat will be in the bottom of the pan. Scoop it out with a slotted spoon and set it aside for later. If your pancetta hasn't rendered enough fat and it doesn't coat the bottom of the pan, you can top it up with a little bit of olive oil. You're going to want to turn the heat up to high to sear your shanks. I just love that sizzle. After a few minutes, turn your beef over and brown the other side. Once browned, remove the shanks from the pan and set them on a dish. Now add your soffritto to the pan, turning it down to medium-high heat. If there are any large bits of fond that you can scrape off, feel free to do that now and give your vegetables a good stir so that they're completely coated in all of that pancetta fat. Once your onion has started to go translucent, add in your garlic cloves. Now this looks like burning. This is not burning, this is flavor. This is fond. So now that the vegetables have started to soften and the garlic is really aromatic, we're going to season this with a bit of salt and then add in our wine. I'm using about a cup of Italian wine. This is a Pinot Grigio, and this will help to release all of that fond from the bottom of the pan. You can already see how that fond is coloring the wine. Let the wine reduce for a couple of minutes. Once the wine has really reduced, we're going to add in a large sprig of rosemary, some fresh thyme, and a couple of bay leaves. Now nestle your shanks back into the pan. If there are any juices on your plate, be sure to pour them in. Sprinkle your pancetta around the shanks. And then add in about 470 milliliters, around 2 cups of chicken stock. I'm using chicken stock because it keeps it a little bit lighter, but if you have beef on hand, that's fine too. You want the stock to come up just a little bit more than halfway on your shanks. Cover with a lid, or if you're transferring to an oven-safe dish, make sure it's covered in foil and into the oven.
This is going to braise in the oven for about 2.5 to 3 hours. You don't want to rush osso buco.
You want your meat fork tender so it just falls apart, like this. I'm going to pop the lid on to keep it warm while I prepare the gremolata. Finely chop 2 tablespoons of parsley. You want to make sure to chop this really finely because you don't want any large bits of parsley. Now zest 1 lemon right on top of your chopped parsley. Grate 2 cloves of garlic, and then run your knife over it a few times to combine it all together. Set it aside to top your osso buco. I'm serving mine with a creamy polenta. Make sure every person gets a piece of that bone. Top with some of the veggie and pancetta mix and a little bit of that sauce, and then sprinkle on some of your gremolata. Buon appetito!
You can serve this dish as I am with polenta, or with risotto, or with mashed potatoes. Like most Italian recipes, these are just guidelines. If you want to add tomatoes, go ahead. My cousin Rosalba, she added black olives to hers, and it added a really nice tang. When you're cooking low and slow, you don't want to make small portions, so this recipe freezes really well. You can freeze it for up to 3 months. Just let it de-thaw and then warm it back in the oven in its sauce for about 30 to 40 minutes. If you'd like to continue your Italian culinary journey, why not try the most traditional spaghetti carbonara on YouTube? So I'll see you in the next video, and buon appetito!